In previous sessions, we learned about control flow, especially loops like for and nested for loops. In this session, we learned about how to write a function, how the function prototype looks like, and we'll see like how we can return multiple values from the function.
Let's see how the functions and function signatures works in Golang. So in Go, functions are block of code that can be executed by calling them by their name. They can take 0 or more parameters and return 0 or more values. Let's see one example. Func is the keyword which we need to use to declare any function, and function name here add, and it will take two parameters x and y, which are of type integer, and it returns a integer value. And actually we are just returning addition of x and y in this function. And this function can be how we can call from the main function or any other function. Basically you can just declare one variable result and add and pass the whatever the values you want to add, in this case 1 and 2, and you try to print the result. And functions can also return multiple values. For example, like function add and multiplication both, then take the two parameters which will take x and y of type integer, and also it will return multiple values like integer and integer. So you can return the values, two values like x plus y and x into y. This function you can call in the main function or any other function like add result and multiply result, and call add and multiply value use and pass the values whatever you want to do that operation, addition and multiplication. And also the functions, you can also use the underscore to ignore some of the returned values. For example, you don't want any add result, you can just do the underscore instead of that add result, and multiply result you can take it and call the function as it is like how you called earlier, but you can ignore that result actually. Functions can also have the named return values. For example, if functions want like earlier function declaration we have result, add result and multi result are like just integer int only. Here we are giving the names for them, so you can call the same function like this as well. In this case, like add result and multiple result, we are taking care of, we are storing the this written values basically. Okay, and this function also called like this, like earlier how you are calling, and this can be called either a main function or any other function. And we have another possibility in Golang to use the variadic functions, a function that takes a variable number of arguments. You can use the triple dot to indicate that a function can take a variable number of arguments of any type, a certain type basically. In this case, actually with some function numbers, it will take variable number of arguments of type integer and do the whatever operation you want. Currently we are doing summing of all the numbers. So this function argument returns the sum of them. You can call this function in a main function or any other functions like this, sum 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8, and you will get the result as a sum of all these numbers and you can return it. And let us see like coding part how it looks like. So I just declared one add function, simple function, which actually takes two parameters of type integer and it will return a value, integer value, actually the sum of the numbers. So how you can call that function? You can call just like this in the main function. The main function add 1 and 2, return it, result could be 3. Similarly, like other case what we discussed, like it will return in multiple values, add and multiply, and this function will take two parameters and it will return two parameters back. One is addition, sum, and another is a multiplication. So you can call that function in the main function like this, add multiply, and results will be, the two results will be written here and you can print them. And third case is like returning named results, basically named values. So in this case, if you see add result and multi result, we are just making the same operation for assigning to that return values. How to call this one? Similar to previous one only, you just call that, you can return these two values. And as we discussed, like a variadic function which actually takes variable number of arguments, in this case some numbers, you can add the numbers and print it. So in this case we are passing variable number of arguments and we are just trying to print it. So let us see like how we can run this and see the program. As we know, like the run command to run this program, go run main. So if you see that this is the result of first one, this 3, and the result of add and multiplication, this is the one. Addition is 3 and 1 into 2 is 2. And third one is like multiplication only we are printing, we are ignoring the add value. That's why you can see the result is a 2. And also new one we are calling this way, so we are getting the two named or written values. So this also having add result and multiplication result, it's the same. And finally we are calling the variadic number of arguments for the function, and we are passing these many values to sum it. Actually the sum is like 36. We are printing result here. That's all about basics of functions.